I'm sorry to inform you guys that there is no new episode of Goldshaw Farm today. But instead, it's time for an episode of...
My buddy Alfred! He lives on down the road. He's a wizard with machines, a genius in blue jeans. Let's stop and say hello.
So my buddy Alfred did something really crazy. He bought a quarry, an honest-to-goodness quarry.
So Alfred, where the heck are we?
We are on the side of Blue Mountain in Reigate, Vermont, South Reigate, Vermont, standing in my new quarry. Bought it earlier this summer, back in June.
What made you buy a quarry?
Well, I guess opportunity. Yeah, I've been working as a stonemason for about 18 years, and I recognized the potential in an old abandoned quarry like this, and was really thrilled when I found the real estate listing.
You know, this is probably, my fourth time up here, I feel like, maybe third time. And I'm just always amazed just like how it just feels like you've discovered this like time machine, right? Where it's like you've got these giant piles of rocks that are all man-made, right?
Yeah, so these right here are called grout piles. These stones, these are all the offcuts from the original quarrying process. They'd pull out a big block out of the mountain. They would split that up into a dimensional piece that they can use, and everything else they'd throw over the bank. And in time, they made, you know, these massive piles. The big one over there has got to be 50, 60 feet above the forest floor by the time they got done dumping out there. And then I expect this was the second one that they started creating.
Because you used to be a stonemason, or you still are a stonemason, that was like kind of the reason you got it, like the main reason?
You know, so like I said, I'd been 18 years in the trade, and to be honest, I got kind of a little burnt out on masonry. Just like the physical toll on the body wasn't proportional to the financial gains. So I started going to school. I was pursuing an mechanical engineering track. You know, the finances, it was too hard for me to stay afloat, so I had to get back into masonry. Operating the quarry, I found, has been really invigorating. You know, it's kind of rekindled some enthusiasm for the trade that I had.
Can we get a tour?
Yeah, so right now we're on the, on the grout piles. The grout piles run straight off the side of the mountain. Pretty tight space up here. It's the only level space on this property, really. And it's actually interesting. I've dug around a little bit, pulling out like tree stumps and such. And what we're standing on right now goes down quite a ways before, it gets down to like where the mountain was. So this whole space was built up.
You built that wall, right?
I did. Yeah, I built this little wall. It was an experiment. I took a bunch of really irregular boulders that were otherwise unusable, and I was able to split these foot-tall strips out of them, turning those pieces into really nice wall stone. And then I just stacked the pieces there. So this is a product I'm hoping to sell. I'll probably call it something like a gauged wall stone. I think like a 5 or 6 foot tall retaining wall built out of this material would be quite the sight.
There's a pond like over there, right?
Yeah.
Can we dive in?
You can dive in. Yeah, I absolutely won't stand in the way of that.
Like, how deep is it?
It's I don't think it's more than 4 or 5 feet deep. I don't think it's spring fed. The water level's dropped quite a bit since this spring. So the water doesn't turn over very quickly. It's very yellowish or greenish. It's pretty gross. A lot of frogs though. I guess it's not gross if you're a frog.
It's probably too rainy today to take up the drone, but the last time I was here with the drone, we almost lost the drone. Yeah. What happened there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You hit a branch, drone shot straight down. It landed on a log, and it could have gone one way, landed on dry land. It could have gone the other way and landed in the pond.
Yeah, I mean, it was like pretty much right down there.
Yeah, that was a close one.
So now how many acres is your quarry?
The quarry itself is less than 1 acre, but the property itself is 66. It's the ominous 66.6 acres.
Really?
Yeah, it's 66.6, so hopefully I don't get crushed up here or something.
Then what's the rest of it? Is it just woods, or?
Yeah.
Do you have plans to like use it for other stuff?
I'm gonna manage the timber for, good timber growth, but while, cutting firewood so I can heat my home, there's a lot of wood up here to burn, and I'll do just that and work with a forester to manage it in such a way that I can heat my home while supporting really good timber growth. And hopefully in 15, 20 years, the trees would be you know, good to harvest then. Right now they're a little young. You can find good logs out there.
How many years are you going to be able to like mine granite from this place before you feel like it's not worth mining granite from anymore?
I think this is inexhaustible. I believe that there's way more granite on this hill than there is enthusiasm. For me, I'm just trying to posture myself right now so that I can start cutting fresh material out of the mountain.
Do you have any like longer term plans for the site? Like, would you ever like put a house up here or a cabin or anything like that?
I've thought about building a cabin. You know, I have a few bucket list projects that I'd really like to do, that I've always wanted to do, and a stone cabin, kind of Hobbit inspired stone cabin would be a really rewarding project to work on. Drawback is that I don't have much space up here to build a cabin and work. I'd like to build it back here on the edge of this landing. The Hobbit house, like the whole philosophy seems to be coziness. And that's what I want. Like, I just want a space that sucks you in and makes it so you don't want to really go anywhere.
Now, how do you actually like extract all these giant pieces of rock?
I drill and split the stone out. I haven't cut, you know, because I'm still getting my bearings up here. I haven't cut any fresh material out of the mountain yet. I've been, you know, processing pieces that I found, obviously, and there's a lot of pieces here. Really, there's no difference between splitting a block open here out on open ground than to split a block out of the mountainside.
And then your excavator comes in handy for just, you know, picking up these giant pieces, loading them into a truck or whatever.
When I bought this property, I was already in a position to be able to start working it immediately, because I own this excavator that's served me really well with my masonry business. I was able to go to work immediately upon purchasing the property. And the excavator is such an important part. Unfortunately, my excavator is a little small, but really I need a larger excavator up here so that I can handle these blocks without tearing the machine apart.
I mean, like, I think of your excavator as like, that's a pretty good sized excavator. And like, so talking about bigger, that's like a brontosaurus just going at the rocks.
You know, and it can't be too big either, because I don't want to cut many of these trees. I would like it if 10 years from now you look down, you know, satellite imagery and not be able to detect the difference in the terrain up here. So I need to find something that can handle the weight of these blocks while also being nimble enough to, you know, work between the trees and everything.
So Alfred, it's time for a word from our sponsors. And there's two sponsors today for this video. Number one is Alfred actually has a YouTube channel. What's on your YouTube channel, Alfred?
It's quarry stuff. Vermont Heritage Granite Company is that channel. And I've enjoyed watching Morgan, you know, develop his farm. You know, there are a few other YouTubers who I watch, and part of the excitement is watching them develop their respective programs. Perhaps I flatter myself, but I'd like to think that maybe some people would be interested in watching me develop this quarry. So that's one motivation for the channel. And you know, the other thing is too, is I have a lot of knowledge about working with stone. I'd like to be able to share that, because when there's something new that I want to learn, I go to YouTube every single time. And I'd like to kind of be able to give back in whatever way I can, and hopefully answer questions about working with stone.
So Alfred's channel is definitely one of the sponsors for this video, and so there's a link down below. I'll leave a link at the end. Go subscribe, tell him Toby Dog says hello. The other sponsor though, Alfred, is we're debuting a new t-shirt on the farm, and I want to get your reaction to this t-shirt. All right, you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Oh my goodness.
Actually, I'm not even gonna show people. I'm gonna show you first.
I'm not a cat person.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure how I feel about the shirt either, but Allison was a big fan of it, and so I said, okay, fine, we can make it. But yes, this is the shirt. It's an I Am Not the Cat Person t-shirt. Features me along with the 4 barn cats, and it should be interesting. It'll be on sale only for a limited time. Same quality, same drop purchase system like last time, so there'll be a limited date. Once we hit that date, we'll send all the orders to print, and then a couple weeks after that, we ship them out to you guys. But yeah, check it out. Shirt down below. I'll leave a link for that. I'll leave a link for Alfred's channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.